Welcome to episode 4 of Rock, Science and Knife. I'm Bevan, and this is...
Baxter. Let's roll that intro. All right, welcome back. How's it going, Bevan?
Oh, good. I think we're in about our 5th week of COVID lockdown here in New Zealand, and it's, it's starting to get a bit old. I
Yeah,
haven't left the house much in all that time.
well, yeah, it's pretty much the same here as well. We're going in another 4 weeks of lockdown,
Wow.
but 50% of our population is vaccinated, and there's going to be, I think, we're going to reach the 80% mark pretty soon. And then they're just going to ease the restrictions, but see what happens, because these things are constantly changing. Um,
Yeah. I think it's a similar thing here. I think I had looked at about 78% of people had either booked or had their vaccine so far. But yeah, slowly getting up there.
yeah. All right. I also need to point out to our viewers that last week we weren't able to upload our podcast due to technical issues.
Technical,
So,
yep.
so we apologize for that. But anyways, here we are, episode number 4. Um, so I think one of the things I want to talk about is ivermectin, and that is something we touched on last week, which nobody got to hear. Uh, ivermectin. What are your thoughts on ivermectin, Bevan? Do you know much about it?
No. I mean, I don't know a lot other than it's a sort of anti-parasitic drug that's
Hmm.
used, normally used to, kill intestinal worms and that sort of things in humans and other animals.
Well, I found out that the mode of action of ivermectin is it inhibits how the viral particles are translocated into the nucleus. It actually inhibits. That's its mode of action, and there's actually a lot of studies which have been done that ivermectin has been used to control dengue fever or
Mm.
other sorts of dangerous viral diseases. As a matter of fact, quite recently, a paper published at James Cook University in Australia, two authors kind of like touched on how this medicine has been used in the past to control lots of other viral diseases. And it's been used for the last 40 years. So I think there might be little truth to what people have been saying about, the horse D
Yeah.
wormers and whatnot, you know. So I guess it's also dependent on the dose which is required. So I'm not saying that people should go out there and get ivermectin, but I'm just saying that scientific research have shown that it inhibits the replication of viral particles, and that's the mode of action, and hence people have been talking about taking ivermectin to control COVID. um,
Yeah, well, certainly there will be a need for some sort of medicine that um, can be used, in a clinical setting to help, patients who are infected. I mean, hopefully people have had the immunizations anyway. But yeah,
that's
no, it
right.
sounds like there should be, more, more big controlled studies done on it. I guess maybe a problem is
Yeah,
that, is it a drug that's sort of out of patent and, maybe there's not incentive for some companies to do stuff on it.
exactly, and I think at the end of the day, um, patents and all these things, have a major influence on what goes out to public as well. And at the end of the day, money talks, so once again, we're kind of like caught in a rock and a hard place, between what's right, what's wrong, and what could still be used, but it's been controlled by either the government or controlled by the big pharmaceutical companies. Yeah.
Yeah, well, still though, I think getting funding for COVID-related research at the moment is probably
Mm,
easier than it has been in the past. So yeah, I guess universities,
yeah.
people who are not linked to pharmaceutical companies should be able to do those studies.
Yeah. True. What are your thoughts on? You know, coronavirus is a respiratory causing virus.
Mm.
Respiratory causing virus.
Respiratory disease, yeah.
Respiratory disease, and so is influenza. How come in the last so many years we haven't been able to eradicate influenza, and how do we see COVID getting eradicated?
We've kind of fascinated New Zealand as a good case example of showing that it actually is possible to eradicate influenza. So over our first
Really?
lockdown, yeah, in 2020, we had zero flu deaths.
Huh.
Normally there's a couple of hundred a year, and people just kind of accept it, right? Because old people get flu and they die. It's just kind of like an accepted thing. Like people accept,
Yeah.
people dying in car crashes and stuff like that, even though it's kind of a
Yeah.
terrible
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, so that was the amazing thing when when everyone was locked down over
Huh.
over winter. Yeah, there were none. So it is
Amazing.
possible, but I guess you can't stay in lockdown forever. Um, but it
Yeah.
does make me wonder, if the whole world had done what some countries had done a really hard lockdown. Yeah, we could have uh, killed off a whole bunch of respiratory diseases.
Yeah.
I think flu is a bit more complicated than coronaviruses, many other viruses, because it just evolves really rapidly. And so that's why every year they come out with a new formulation of the flu shot with different strains and
Yeah.
stuff.
But I mean, coronavirus have started to evolve too. I mean, here we were still battling the COVID-19 strain, and now we've got the Delta strain, and apparently there's a Gamma strain as well in South America, I think.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. It
Yeah.
seems like Delta is the most transmissible,
All right.
and so because it is, it's kind of making up about 90% of all the infections all around the world. So even though these other ones pop up, they just don't persist as well because Delta is so much more
Hmm.
kind of infectious. Um,
It only yeah, but it only took less than a year for it to evolve into this really pathogenic strain, and it's just a matter of time what's going to happen next. Is it going to evolve into even more deadly strain? And
yeah, it's possible. The what kind of at a very gross generalization, what kind of tends to happen is that viruses evolve to be more transmissible, more infectious, but less kind of deadly.
okay,
Because as a population wise, it's not good to kind of like kill off people.
true.
But yeah,
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen here? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the advantage is that the mRNA vaccines can be synthesized so quickly and relatively
Mm.
cheaply. Remember when we buy oligonucleotide primers, right? We've been doing this
Mm-hmm.
for 20, 25 years that I've been working.
Yeah.
You buy little pieces of, in this case, DNA, custom. I can get whatever sequence I want in the world, and a couple of days later it arrives. So yeah,
That's
I
right.
think as the coronavirus evolves, they'll just have to keep changing the vaccine, and it'll just become like
The
an annual flu
vaccine.
shot.
Yeah. Pretty much. And hopefully, eventually, we can eradicate it just naturally. You know.
Yeah, I think that'll be difficult because you've got to get all of the countries all around the world to do it. And I just
Yeah.
don't. I don't have faith in that level of human cooperation.
Mm. So, here's a question for you. It's a it might be a bit controversial question, but do you think this virus was created, or do you think it it actually appeared naturally, like the way it's been told?
Well, I mean, I just don't know. There's just
Oh
no
yeah,
evidence
for
there.
sure. I know, but
If I had to guess, I would say that
yeah,
no, it wasn't created because, it's got similarities to um, other known animal-derived coronaviruses. But yeah, it's possible that it was stored in a laboratory and um, escaped. I have no
escaped.
idea.
Yeah. Obviously, like yourself, I don't have any proof or real answer other than I have a feeling that maybe it was created in the lab. Maybe, I mean, China is a very powerful nation, and I'm pretty sure our podcast is not going to get watched in China. But they, if they had to cripple the world's economy by a threat, bioterrorism, and that's exactly what this is.
But
It's a type of a bioterrorism.
if they were to do that, why would they set it off in their own country first, though? That doesn't really make sense.
Uh, it's part of the collateral damage. You gotta have some sort of a collateral damage, uh, or just to kind of show to the rest of the world, look, hey, we also have coronavirus virus here. You're not the only ones. But I think they have recovered already. I don't hear any cases or anything dangerous happening in China. They took control of it pretty immediately.
Yeah, I, yeah, I've been to China quite a few times, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, their news is quite controlled compared to what we have, so yeah, who knows what's really happening.
Exactly. Um, but just food for thought, something like I'm not trying to cook conspiracy theories here, Uh, I think we cannot really ignore a lot of important questions, and it's good to question and have some sort of factual information attached to it. And I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but maybe it did happen, Uh,
I think
but
there is
it's all of
some investigations going on, isn't there? Into that
yeah.
WHO and others are, yeah, investigating.
Mm, that's right. That's right. And they got pretty pissed off at Australia as well because they were like, um, um, I think they were cutting off some trades and things like that with Australia because Australia wanted the investigation to take place.
Mm, mm.
And so they got pissed off. And actually, interestingly, I don't know, did you hear on the news? Now, Australia, UK, and US have formed this alliance, uh, and pretty much what they're trying to do is creating some muscle power around China as well. From all sides, and
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah,
Australia's getting nuclear submarines.
nuclear powered submarines. That's right. You know,
The
so
funny, they're not allowed to cross into New Zealand waters.
oh
Yeah,
really?
because I've been
Okay.
nuclear free since the 1980s, and that includes not just nuclear weapons, but includes any kind of nuclear propulsion or nuclear power plant. So yeah,
Ah, yeah.
I don't know what
Well,
we would
these are
do if
just
Australia tried to drive them into sail them into our waters. It's not that we could stop them, but
well, yeah. Well, these are only meant to be just nuclear powered, so they're not gonna carry any warheads or anything like that. But yeah, it was interesting and just came about all of a sudden.
mm,
It was crazy because I switched on the news just to hear about the update for coronavirus, and next thing you know, there's a live conference happening, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know, so it's very out of the blue, and yeah. Well, should we change our topic from this doom and gloom, coronavirus and nuclear powered submarines, to something lighthearted, maybe?
sounds good.
So I bought AirTags, and I bought these AirTags. They're Apple AirTags, and I'm pretty impressed by these. Now, I bought these AirTags just to put them in some special things that I have
Mm.
that I don't wanna get stolen. And what I found is that these AirTags actually work. So I gave my tag to Ingrid to take to her workplace, and I said, I'm just gonna look from here and see if I can actually detect where the tag is. And lo and behold, I was able to see the actual address of where this AirTag was, and so I'm pretty stoked about it. And you said you've been using something similar, like
Yeah,
tiles
so
or
I've got these
something.
things. They're
Ah,
tiles, which is, yeah, same sort of concept. The trouble is that I think, well, you can explain that. So the tile only works with other people who've got tile and who are running the app,
that's correct.
but the
Yeah.
air thing is a bit different, right?
AirTags pretty much works the same way, except there's billions of people who got Apple devices, and so pretty much the chances of us finding a lost item is heaps higher than with tiles. Like I don't have a tile, but if you've got a tile and somebody else, you just have to be in the same vicinity, or your lost tag should be in the same vicinity as the other tile user, for it to give you that ping or send you that information. Whereas like with Apple, it just becomes easy. It just gathers information from all iPhones and iPads, and just connects that network, yet keep making sure that people's privacy is not invaded, and that's how it works. So yeah, it's pretty impressive. So I was very happy.
Yeah,
I've already.
yeah, there's definitely that aspect. I use the tiles when I'm traveling, like I put one in my suitcase or baggage when I go on the plane.
Yeah,
And that's pretty
that's right.
cool because even though other people might, your own phone can detect it, and so I can see if I'm sitting on the plane, before takeoff, before you have to turn off the Bluetooth and stuff, I can see that it's like inside the luggage hold of the plane because you always like put your luggage
Nice.
into the thing and then it disappears and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah, yeah,
man, is it
yeah.
is it going to come with me
Well,
2 countries
that's
over? Um, yeah, particularly Houston
that.
Airport was weird because you just kind of like they just said, "I'll just leave your luggage there," and you just like chuck your luggage in a pile. It wasn't even in like a conveyor belt or anything. I'm like, man, am
Yeah,
I ever going to see that bag again? So yeah, that was quite cool. Like peace
interesting.
of mind. You could see it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I think if I'll ever get to travel again, I will probably do the same thing because I do have a spare tag which I was planning on putting on my bike, but at the moment I'm not riding my bike. So, and I guess with the bike it's a lot easier because I can just attach it underneath the seat or somewhere, but then take it out from there and place it in my bag. One of the things actually say hide your tags so that people can see it.
Mm.
So, there's no point of attaching it outside the suitcase. In your case, you've been hiding inside your bag. I once lost my luggage.
Mm.
Well, actually, didn't lose it. Uh, it I didn't get it because it ended up going somewhere else, and so I was without my suitcase for almost 24 hours, and then they brought it to me. But that's pretty cool. Like if you would have your tiles or air tags, it's gonna be helpful. And I'm not getting paid by Apple to
Yeah, I
say
was
all
just
of
I was just
this.
gonna say, man, we should have this
Yeah,
sponsored
uh,
by.
I know. I just get excited with all these devices and things, and especially the ones which actually work.
Mm.
And then I'm just kind of like sharing that information and saying, hey, everybody else should get it as well because it's great. It works.
So how much do
Uh,
those ear tags cost? Because the tiles are kind of expensive. They're sort of like about $30 each or something, depending on the model that you get.
Yeah, so the one AirTag is
Mm.
$45, and I bought a set of four, and it was for 149. So pretty much one was for free,
Mm.
and I was pretty happy about it. Yeah. Um, all right. Changing to the next topic. I'm just looking here at my notes. Um, let's talk about a Quiet Place movie and its similarities with the lockdown. Have you watched this movie
I
called A
have not.
Quiet
You're gonna
Place?
have to tell me about it.
Oh no. Uh, well, Quiet
Well,
Place.
don't do any spoilers.
No, 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 no. I won't. I respect that
Is this?
because I would hate it if somebody spoils it for me too. No, this is pretty much something you can see it in the trailer as well. That there are these creatures, and people just have to stay quiet. And these creatures are only attracted to noise.
Oh,
So if you're talking loudly or speaking, and they'll just come and rip you apart. Uh, and you know, I've noticed, and then the movie, what was that movie called? I'm Legend.
oh yeah.
You must have seen that.
Mm.
Came out a few years ago, and now when I drive outside, because I'm an essential worker, so I have to go to work, and when I'm driving outside, sometimes it just feels like a ghost town. A lot of places, and I just get reminded, and it just got me thinking. We're living in such strange times. We've got this horrific disease, and we've got um, pretty much war and suffering all around the world. It's like, are we ever going to recover? We never recovered before, and from a lot of bad things which were happening, and where are we going? What's going to happen to this world of ours? It's pretty scary if you think about it. you know.
Well, I got that every day at the Tamaki campus. So we the my institute's located on the side of a university campus. The campus sold to the housing developers quite a few years ago, and those developers just haven't done anything. So it's exactly that sort of situation even before COVID, that like the I Am Legend thing with, all the buildings kind of like
Ah,
falling down, and the grass growing
yeah.
up and nobody's doing anything. Be a good place to shoot a music video, actually.
Yeah. Well, so you guys are still at the Tamaki campus?
Still there.
Wow. Uh-oh. You don't sound very happy.
Well, it's quite far away from where I live. It's like on the opposite side of town. But yeah,
Oh,
now
yeah, that's why.
I only go to work 2 days a week now. Well, when it's not locked down. So yeah, work from home the
Yeah,
rest of the time.
yeah. So, well, I worked in that building as well, and that building is an environmentally friendly designed building, and there are actually long drops. Do you guys still have the long drops?
No, no, they got rid of them because they weren't
Oh,
working. Yeah.
all right. Yeah, it was crazy because he used to lift the lid of the toilet seat, and these little flies used to start flying
Yeah,
up,
that's right. And you wouldn't want to drop
and
your phone or anything because it was a two-story drop straight down into a
yeah,
tank. Yeah.
like, just imagine losing your AirPod.
Yeah, it's
It's gone. It's a goner.
no getting it back.
Well, there is. You just have to go around. Um, no, I've actually seen the catchment area where they they would, yeah, where everything used to get collected, and yeah, it was hilarious. Um,
So
Not
that
very nice.
so they got rid of them. They put in normal toilets because yeah. Anyway, the point was that they were supposed to be these composting toilets, and they were designed in Australia actually for the Australian
Oh,
environmental conditions, and it just wasn't warm enough. So the tanks wouldn't
uh,
decompose properly, so they had to come along and suck them out of a sewage truck every couple of months or so. Yeah, so that room that they
wow.
were in was like, you can imagine what viewers can imagine what it would have been like.
Yeah.
That is now one of our nicest meeting rooms. Yeah,
What?
they completely refurbished it, like put in a heat pump, put in windows and
The
everything.
catchment
Yeah,
the catchment area.
yeah,
Wow. Holy cow. I would love to see
yeah.
that.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
show you next
That
time
that
you're
is
over.
hilarious. Yeah. Well, last time I was there was in 2012. So a long time ago,
Mm, mm.
you know. Yeah, I was planning on going to a conference. I was supposed to be in New Zealand this year. Sorry, last year, but COVID happened, and now there's talk of another conference happening next year, and I think it's gonna be in Rotorua.
Okay,
So, or is it in Queenstown? I've forgotten now. Uh, Two different places, North Island and South
quite
Island.
different, yeah.
I think might be in Rotorua because I remember getting excited about the geysers, and I thought, hey, cool, I'll go to a hot pool,
Mm,
a
mm.
natural hot pool. Um, hey, you're from Rotorua, aren't you? It's your
Yep,
hometown.
that's right. Yep, grew up there. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. How did you? You were just pretty much used to the smell of sulfur.
Yeah. So it's a strong sulfur dioxide smell. Yeah, it's. I mean, if you're over the vents and stuff, of course you can smell it, but most of the time it isn't. It isn't there. It only got to our house like on a really like foggy day.
Ah,
Um,
but you get used to it, right?
yeah, yeah, just like anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the maximum amount of time that I've spent there is probably a week and a half, and I think it's only the first couple of hours you go there and you're like, whoa, what is this? And then you kind of like get used to it. So, and it's amazing. It's such a strong smell, but people live there, and you're from there.
Yeah.
So, is your brother still living there?
No, no, we're all in Auckland now.
And your parents
Yeah,
as
my
well?
parents are still there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's just your parents
Mm.
were there. Yeah. Do you go to visit them?
Yeah, yeah, sort of drop
Yeah.
our child off every school holidays and,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Christmas, the usuals, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. And do you actually go to any of the geysers?
Well, no, it's that kind of thing, when you grew up in a place that has all these tourist
Yeah.
attractions, it's not like a special thing anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like if visitors come or whatever, I'll show them around the
Yeah.
places, and there's heaps of free
Yeah.
stuff you can see as well. You don't have to go pay all the money and see like the tourist
Yeah.
spots. So yeah.
Yeah. The best things that I've done in Rotorua are um, um, the cave, the
Mm.
blackwater rafting, and followed by the glowworm
Oh
caves.
yeah. Yep.
Glowworm caves, yeah. I think that was actually part of it, so I had to kind of like descend down into this cave, then get into these little rafting devices. Rafting devices?
Rafts.
Is that what it's called? Rafts? Yeah. And I'm not claustrophobic at all, but when you're down below and there's a huge mountain on top of you, and you're just like swimming in this little stream of water, that's when I freaked out. I was like, what if there's going to be an earthquake? That's it. It's like no one's ever going to find me here because it's underneath the mountain. And but I enjoyed it. It was a great experience. I did that, and there were a few other things that I did, but I've forgotten.
Well, I'll
But
tell you
yeah,
now that you're safe. Rotorua has quite a lot of earthquakes. It's kind of like right on that plate tectonic boundary.
I
Yeah.
know, I know, and yet people take chances to actually go
Yeah.
and do all these crazy activities. Um, yeah,
Sounds good. So we're coming up about half an hour.
yes, that's right.
Anything else
Time
you
to
wanted
wrap
to
up.
talk about?
No, I think this would be it. I mean, there's a few things I can talk about, but then I'll think it's gonna go longer. My camera may shut down because I
Okay.
still have like an old camera. It works with that 29 minute because it overheats or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I think it had to do more with other things rather than yeah. But anyways, well, thanks guys for watching this podcast, and this is our episode 4. And apologies that you guys missed out on this last week, but here we are recording. So if you're new to our channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.